What is up, YouTube? Dots Gaming here, and today I'm bringing you guys my Magicka Warden PvP build for the ESO Murkmire patch. I've tried out a lot of different gear sets and combinations on my Warden. I've experimented with some unusual sets, some more proc-based sets, straight up stats. I've tried a lot of different things and a lot of different variations, and I've sat down with the UESP calculator and really have kind of tinkered with stats and whatnot to really see what I liked and what I enjoyed. And for me, this is my favorite build for my Magden that I've put together. The build is a ton of fun. It deals really great damage, AoE, and single target. Has really good burst, like I said, AoE damage. It's got really good defenses. It's just a really, really fun build to play, and I really have been liking it and enjoying it very, very much. Like I said, I've tried a bunch of different combinations, and for me, this is what worked out best. So I'm here to bring it to you guys today because I've been getting asked a ton about it on my stream. So I'm not only going to give you guys the build today, but I do have some footage of a battleground that I ran afterwards where everyone was really, really tanky, and I can show you how much damage this build can really, really pump out, and you'll be able to see a demonstration of that at the end. Now, with all my build videos, I do like to say this at the beginning because it is very true. This is just what I run, what I like, what works for me, and the stat breakdown that I found to be the best for my play style. So if you see the build and see how I lay it out and you think that you would like something similar, go ahead and run it. If the build's not for you and if you don't like it, then you don't have to run it. I've tried a lot of different sets, and like I said, for me, this is the combination that worked out the best for me and what I like to see in a character. So moving straight into it, though, our first piece and set is Bloodspawn. Bloodspawn is one of my favorite monster sets in the game, and it suited the Magden extremely well. Magden, for me, is that type of class that I like to play in light armor. I don't know, for me, heavy armor just didn't really suit the play style that I was going for. I really did want to bring out some big damage, and while heavy armor can achieve some good damage levels, I wanted the damage and the passives that light armor gave. So Bloodspawn, to me, was able to help augment my defenses in light armor by providing that physical and spell resistance on the proc, so 6450 for 6 seconds upon taking some damage. And then if you combine that with our major resistances plus the minor protection from those resistances, we are able to get fairly tanky even in light armor. Plus, the ultimate generation really, really helps because we are using Northern Storm as our primary ultimate. So to get up to that ultimate cost, Bloodspawn really, really helps out with that. The other 5-piece we are running should be no surprise to anybody, and it is 5 pieces of Necropotence. This is a Magden staple, and in my opinion, is one of, if not the best set for the class, and for good reason. This set basically just gives you straight up max Magicka across the board, especially when you have a pet active, your max Magicka is increased by a massive amount. But the good thing for Magden is that Magden always has a pet up because its form of major sorcery is given through a pet. So this 5-piece will be procced at all times, assuming you are doing a good job at maintaining major sorcery on yourself, which should be no problem because it's a free costing Magicka. It's a free costing skill that gives you Magicka back, gives you your major sorcery, and purges an effect. And I'm talking about Blue Betty. So you'll have your 5-piece up at all times. So if you combined Necropotence with a couple of the other skills I have in my front bar, you can achieve huge damage through your maximum Magicka pool without really needing to worry, without having to have an overly high spell damage pool. Like, as you can see, my spell damage is 1883. Not the lowest, but not really that high. But it doesn't matter because with Necro up, we are sitting at 44k maximum Magicka. And then when we have our major sorcery, we have 2259 spell damage, not including our back bar Glyph, which will be pretty much having 100% uptime and will give us a nice bonus. So the fact that our spell damage isn't the world's highest spell damage isn't a big deal because we have that huge max Magicka pool. And like I said, we have an infused back bar staff with weapon and spell damage. So, that'll basically be procced at all times. So we'll be getting that 452 extra. But I'm sure now I kind of revealed my second set with showing you guys my staff. And that is Twice Born Star. You don't really see this set too much anymore. But for me, Twice Born Star was the last piece of the puzzle that I really needed to get my Magden to work the way I wanted it to work. Because I was having trouble with 3 different criteria. Having enough damage to accomplish what I need to accomplish, having enough defenses to stay alive, and having enough stamina to not completely be out of stamina at all times. And TBS really helped me accomplish everything I needed to accomplish, because Bloodspawn and Necro together was a really, really good combination, but I felt like there were some, like I said, there were pieces that were missing, like my stamina pool felt a little too low, or if I ended up running Tri-Stat Food instead of Witch Mothers, which I'm running, and ran other sets like Shackle Breaker or Fortified Brass, my recovery wasn't as high, and while that was fine for CP PvP, wasn't okay for no CP PvP, because for those of you who know me, I like to build my builds to be all around useful in all situations. So it just, Twiceborn Star allowed me to customize my stat template the way I wanted to via the 5-piece, with being able to have 2 Mundus Stone boons. So being able to get health, stamina, and magicka obviously just helps, you know, across the board. I was able to get the 14k stamina minimum that I wanted. My health was able to get a nice bump, and of course I got more max magicka, which meant more damage. But being able to use 2 Mundus Stones allowed me to shore up the 2 weak points that I felt like I had, because I was running Necropotence, which literally just gives straight magic, and while that's great for damage, isn't, you know, doesn't help on other fronts. So through my 5-piece on TBS, I chose to run the Atronach for my magicka recovery, and the Lady for the increased spell and physical resist. So that ended up working out good for me, because like you can see on my front bar, I'm in light armor, and on my front bar, I have 20k spell resist and 17k physical resistance unbuffed. So if you include our back bar buff, on our front bar, we're sitting at 25k spell resist, 22k physical resist, even higher on the back bar, 27.5k spell resist, 24.4k physical resist. Then you also take into account that we have minor protection. Then you get Bloodspawn. We're looking at over 30k physical resist and 33 plus k spell resistance. So that being able to utilize the Lady with the 5-piece really, really helps out. Like I said, I'd had some people that was like, well, why didn't you try Fortified Brass? Why didn't you try Shackle Breaker? And I did put both of those sets on in this calculator, and I tried them out and used Tri-Stat Food instead of Witch Mothers, but I wasn't a fan of how the stats broke down. Either I felt like my health was a little bit too low, or my stamina was a little bit too low, or my recovery wasn't what I wanted it to be. But Twiceborn Star, at least for the way I wanted to play the build, gave me the stat pools I needed. And the reason I'm taking a lot of time to explain this set is because I know it's not the most popular set anymore, but I really like it. And for this setup, I'm a huge fan of it. So in terms of glyphs and everything else, so you guys can get a complete picture, we are running pretty much all tri-stack glyphs on everything. Magicka Warden loves tri-stack glyphs, so we are running prismatics on absolutely everything, and everything is also impen. And we are running a 5-1-1, 1 heavy, 1 medium, and 5 light. Obviously, my helmet is heavy. You should optimally want your chest to be heavy and your legs to be medium, with everything else being light, but I have heavy head and medium shoulders, so it is what it is. If you have the proper optimum BIS gear weights, your resistances will be even higher than what I showed. We are running 2 arcane on the jewelry and 1 protective. The 1 protective really, really helps us out with getting to these resistance pools that we need. As you can see, unbuffed on the back bar, we're sitting at 19k, 22k. And I'm telling you, protective is such a good trait. Protective is such a good trait. I'm running it more and more on all my classes. So I have 1 protective ring on this guy, and recently on my Stamplar, I put 2 protective to make him even tankier in his medium armor setup. It's a really, really good trait, and I definitely recommend giving it a try if you haven't yet. Jewelry traits, we are using 1 magicka recovery. Without this, I felt like my magicka recovery is slightly too low, so I did run 1, but then we have 2 spell damage glyphs. In terms of our staves, we have 1 Nirnhoned front bar staff and an infused frost staff on the back bar. The front bar staff is lightning, Nirnhoned, like I said. Back bar is infused frost. Back bar enchant, I absolutely recommend those spell damage and weapon damage increase enchant. Because it's infused with a 5-second cooldown on the enchant, you will have 100% uptime on it, and because we run a weapon skill on our back bar, this will basically have 100% uptime, which is very needed because, like I said, we do not have the world's highest spell damage. And then the front bar, I have an Absorb Magicka enchant on here because I do a lot of Battlegrounds these days. If you are playing in Cyrodiil, you're going to want to probably replace this with a Frost enchant. Will combo very, very well with our wall of Frost on the back bar. Or if you're playing in BGs and you feel that you have enough sustain anyway, you could just, again, replace this with a Frost enchant, and it'll really, really help with causing the chilled status effect and causing the roots based off the wall of elements. And speaking of talking about skills, let's move right into them. Our spammable is Screaming Cliff Razor, which basically just does damage. You send a Cliff Razor to dive bomb, 38-meter range. It's absolutely massive, and it deals 15% more damage based on how far the target is away. I tried this, and I tried Force Pulse, and I like the burst and the extra damage that Cliff Razor provides. Cliff Razor gives a little bit more effective spell damage when compared to something like Force Pulse. Well, Force Pulse does have a little bit of better penetration. Screaming Cliff Razor gives my front bar more overall effective spell damage, and that's kind of what I was looking for with this, because we are pretty defensive. I have a good bit of pen through the build anyway. I was like, I want my front, if this gives my entire front bar more spell damage, as effective spell damage, as opposed to one skill having more pen, I'd rather go with this. So I chose Cliff Razor. If you don't like Cliff Razor, again, feel free to run Force Pulse. Our main burst skill is Deep Fissure. This skill hits super, super hard, and it can hit multiple people. The more I've played with this skill, the more that I like it. It also, again, affects enemies with Major Breach. So between just our light armor passives and Major Breach, we have a ton of pen. We dip into Spell Erosion a little bit more for CP, but at no CP, you're rocking plenty of penetration with that passive in this debuff. So Deep Fissure is a great burst tool, especially when combined with Screaming Cliff Razor and Shock Reach. Shock Reach basically is just, we use it primarily for the stun. I know some people like to use Reach as a spammable if they're using the Master Staff, but for me, I use it primarily for the stun. It deals shock damage upon impact, will deal some more shock damage over time, which is always nice and welcome. Has a chance to cause minor vulnerability to take 8% more damage. And some people might go, Dots, why are you not running Flame? Why are you choosing to run Shock? The reason I chose to run Shock over Flame is because I kind of was sitting there like, okay, if I run Flame, the Screaming Cliff Razor will deal more damage overall. Shock Reach will deal more damage overall. And that's great. But if I run Shock Reach, my Shulks will deal more damage, and my Northern Storm will deal more damage. And me personally, I'd rather have my big burst and my ult deal more damage than my stun and my spammable. That's just me. If you prefer to have your spammable and the reach deal more damage, run Flame. If you would rather have your burst tools deal more damage, run Shock. This was just my preference. We're also running Bird of Prey. Really, really solid for PvP. You get the increased movement speed, the extra stamina recovery, which is always welcome, especially on a Magicka build. And we also get the Minor Berserk for just having this skill slotted. Really, really great skill. Absolutely recommend it. Now, the favorite spell combination of mine, and why we're able to just take so much advantage out of Necro to get huge damage, and that is the combination of Inner Light and Northern Storm. These two skills were just made for each other. They provide so much offensive potential on one bar when run with Necro. This skill gives us 7% additional max magicka, 2% from the Mage's Guild passives, 5% from the skill itself, and Major Prophecy, which gives us more spell crit. Then we also have Northern Storm, which for having the skill just slotted, we get 8% additional increased max magicka. So for just these two skills slotted, we're getting huge, massive increases to our max magicka. And then if you combine that, again, like I said, with a set like Necro, your max magicka is getting so big, and you can deal so much damage through that pool. So it's super nice, and I love the combination of these skills. And plus, I do miss the AoE stun from Permafrost a bit, but Shock Reach does really take care of that, and I really like the amount of effective and how high the spell damage can become by combining these two skills together. But Northern Storm does big AoE frost damage in the circle, reducing movement speed by 70%, and myself, and allies will gain major protection, which reduces damage taken by 30%. So it's good for offense, good for defense. It's just an amazing ultimate, and like I said, combines super well with Inner Light. On our back bar, we are running Blockade of Frost. Helps us not only keep our back bar enchant procced at all times, it adds an additional slow to the build. If enemies are already chilled, they get rooted. It just offers more AoE damage. We have AoE damage through Deep Fissure, AoE damage through Northern Storm, and now AoE damage through Blockade of Frost. So we can burst single enemies, we can burst entire areas in the battlefield. So this really, I like this skill. I like this skill. When I was debating whether or not I wanted to run a Resto or a Destro staff on the back bar, I was really tempted by the Resto staff, but I didn't want to leave the Blockade of Frost. I really like the way it plays. And like I said, especially if you do choose to run that Frost enchant on the front bar, you'll be rooting people even more frequently than I have it with the Absorb Magicka Glyph. You'll be rooting people even more frequently. So very, very good skill in my opinion. Living Trellis, the main heal of any Magden build. This skill is fantastic. Grow vines to embrace. You are the lowest ally in front of you for 10 seconds. The vines heal the target every time they take damage, and this can occur every second. And then when the vines expire, they heal the target for an additional health. So if you want that instant heal, you are just going to basically spam this. It's very cheap and a very potent heal. Very, very potent heal. It is incredibly powerful. 2300 Magicka, not too bad of a cost. And it's really strong. Really, really strong. Our next skill is Harness Magicka. I am choosing to run a damage shield on this build. I originally tried to just, to heal myself through heals alone and go through sheer healing, but it wasn't working out for me as good as I wanted to, so I ended up trying to slot a damage shield, and it really was a good idea. The Harness Trellis combo for me, combined with all my resistances and minor protection, really gives me the defensive capabilities that I needed. Just relying on healing, at least for me, wasn't working that well, and without needing to slot the Resto staff, this, like I said, this gave me the defensive capabilities that I needed. I still prefer this over Dampen. I don't think Dampen gives you enough of an additional bonus to warrant losing how much Magicka gets restored via Harness Magicka. It gives you an insane amount of sustain against magical targets. So I like Harness way more than Dampen. And Shimmering Shield was definitely a tough thing to drop, but Shimmering Shield was way too niche of a use. While yes, snipers are annoying, and while yes, just the projectiles in general are very annoying, especially the last couple patches, it was too niche of a slot for Magden for me. It was too niche of a slot, and Harness worked way better for me. Like, once I slotted Harness over Shimmering, I noticed a huge difference in my tankiness, and I am definitely liking Harness way, way more for my Magden. So like I said, these two skills combined with the resistances, minor protection, everything really give me the defense I needed. We also have Blue Betty. I've talked a lot about Blue Betty during the gear, but again, Max Magicka Restoration, Major Sorcery, Cleanse, amazing skill. Just can't say enough good things about it. Allows us to proc our 5-piece Necro. We also have Ice Fortress, which is what gives us our major resistances and minor protection. Amazing skill. Not really much to say about it. I wish my DK had this. It's such a good skill. It's awesome. And then we're also, again, slotting Northern Storm on the back bar to maintain that 8% max Magicka and keep our heals and shield on the back bar as strong as they can be. In terms of other things, like I said earlier, we're running the Atronach and the Lady for our Mundus Stones, and then we are using the Witch Mother's Potent Brew Food. In terms of potions, I'm running Tri-Stat potions. You could also run immovability potions if you like, but the Tri-Stats are my go-to for my Magden. In terms of race, I am running Breton, and the reason I'm running Breton is for the massive boost to the spell resist that you gain through Breton. Really, really, really like the spell resistance passive. 4K additional spell resistance for just being a Breton. I'm a huge fan of it. I like to play my Magicka characters, especially pretty tanky in the current meta. It's the way I like to play them. So Breton fit it perfectly. Boost the max Magicka, reduce costs, always helps to sustain, and then to have that additional spell resistance, I really, really liked it personally. If you aren't a big fan of Breton, Argonian is also an amazing option. The amount of sustain you get through them is insane, and then if you want max damage, you're going to want to probably go with something like the High Elf. But for me, Breton was kind of like the best of all worlds, and gives me that tankiness through the spell resistance, which I really, really like. But any one of those three races will work. You might have to move some stats around a little bit, but that's really up to you. So we are going to move on to CP. So in terms of CP, we're running 15 points into Blessed, 56 into Elfborn, 75 into Elemental Expert, 43 into Spell Erosion, and 81 into Master at Arms, with nothing into Thaumaturge. 56 into Ironclad, 53 into Resistant, 29 into Light Armor Focus. Yes, heavy armor, or excuse me, physical damage dealing targets are currently just wreaking havoc upon PvP, so we want as much resistance for against them as we can get. 43 into Hardy and 37 to Elemental Defender over the same logic, especially because we already have plenty of extra spell resistance from our Breton passives, and 37 into Thick Skin with finally 15 into Quick Recovery. We also have to have 56 into Warlord, 29 into Sprinter, 75 into Arcanist, 66 into Tumbling, and 44 into Shadow Ward. Now, I've been getting asked about passives a lot. In terms of passives, you want all of your class passives, so Animal Companion, Scream Balance, and Winter's Embrace. You want all of your Destruction Staff passives, all of your Light Armor passives, all of your Medium Armor passives except for Agility, and your first 3 Heavy Armor passives. You also want all of your Mages Guild passives, all of your Undaunted passives, all of your Assault passives, all of your Support passives except for the first one, all of your Racial passives, and you want Medicinal use from Alchemy. But that is pretty much the build. In terms of like general rotation, you obviously want to maintain Blue Betty and Ice Fortress at all times. Those are going to be completely pivotal to your success. Failure to maintain those two will hurt you offensively and defensively, so you need to maintain these 2 things at all times. You also, when fighting someone, want to do your best to maintain the blockade. This not only puts damage on them, it slows them, keeps your back bar enchant procced. You just want to try to maintain it as much as you can. Offensively, your big thing is to, light attack and Cliff Racer, light attack and Cliff Racer. When you're ready to go in for a burst, you want to use your Shulks, stun Cliff Racer, and so that your Cliff Racer and the Shulks will pop at the same time. And then if you want to get your ult involved, you can get your ultimate involved as well with, popping your ultimate, Shulks, stun someone, Cliff Racer. They're going to be taking absolutely massive amounts of damage. If you need to get away from somebody, dodge roll and use Bird of Prey and run your butt off. And then defensively, you're going to want to use your Harness Magicka while spamming Trellis. Also, do not forget that using Blue Betty gives you a heal as well as reducing and removing 1 negative effect. So if you're, rooted by something, or if you have a really bad dot on you, you could always just spam Blue Betty for free. Costs nothing, heals you, and will constantly be removing those effects, so it is something to keep in mind. But that's going to be it for me, guys, for this build. I am going to now be showing you guys some clip from my stream of a BG that I did that went really, really well. It went for the full 15 minutes, so you're going to get to see what the build looks like over a period of time. We were having a ton of trouble in that BG. Everyone was super, super tanky. A lot of healers, but because of that, the full damage potential of this build was able to be shown off. So I hope you guys enjoy it. But if you enjoyed the build, I'd appreciate if you left a like. Any questions, of course, leave a comment. And to keep up on all the great ESO content here on the Dots Gaming YouTube channel, I'd appreciate if you hit that sub button as well as the bell to keep notifications on. So I hope you guys enjoy the PvP footage. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm Dots Gaming, and I'll see you all next time. A lot of people are doing that nowadays. It's a good way to help give your stream a nice little extra boost. Oh, Presidential Kush, you're a squishy boy, Presidential Kush! You're a squishy, squishy boy! You can't take the damage! I'm gonna be sitting on this dude's ass the whole game. He is so fucking squishy. Oh my god. Oh, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. No! Got a little ahead of myself here. Not a little ahead of myself. I put streams on just in the background noise. Yeah, no problems at all. No problems at all. No, I don't mind people lurking. Not at all. So I've had people whisper me behind the scenes like, Dots, your chat seems kind of quiet. I'm like, no, I just have a lot of people who just flip on my stream and lurk. You go through various audience changes. I've had times where my audience is super active in chat and times where people just want to lurk all night. I don't mind either. As long as people are having fun and having a good time, that's all that matters to me. I'm about to go fucking ham and cheese on these guys. Oh, shit! Oh, did you see that guy pop like a balloon? Oh my god. Damn, I was hoping my Betty would have frickin'... What do you think you're doing there, young sir? What do you think you're doing there, young sir? No, no, no. Oh, Earthgore saves. Alright, I'm gonna back out here. Here we go. No, giveaways are on console as well. Dude, these frickin' mag blades, man, are bane of my existence this game, or these past couple games. Oh, hello. We just need the ult. I just need to build up to the ult. Here we go. Oh, there's one! There's one! Oh, they're waiting. Oh, okay. Overzealous Dots is overzealous. No, no, no. No, 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 no! Fuck! We had a good run, man. We had a good run. Oh, that was fun. That was a fun fight. I could have probably played that a little bit better and got a second kill there, but damn. That was fun. Yeah, it's harder in no CP too. That was close though. That was close. Yeah, no, it's hard because the red team's got that one mag blade too, always hanging around. Wait, there's a purple guy over there on the left. Oh, I should be able to actually sneak behind these guys. Hold on. Rebuff up. Oh, we're about to fucking go ham and cheese. Oh, can't handle the burst. Can't handle it, dude. Have I ever played the Division? I have not. I've had a couple people recommend it to me, but I've never played it. Pop, pop, dude, pop, pop. Oh, my squishy healer friend. I told you we were gonna be buddies this game. What do you think you're doing there, pal? What do you think you're doing there, dude? All right, so the red team is our main competition here. We're getting up in there, dude. We're getting up in here. Oh, we're getting up out of here. Alright, we're gonna have to go on the purple guys here. There's more of them here. Kind of want to thin them out a little bit. You ain't... Oh, they stole my kill, these purple bitches. Oh, no. I think you would like it. There's a lot of numbers to play with. Yeah, Nika was recommending it to me. I'm gonna have to look into it at some point. I'm gonna have to look into it at some point. I have a lot of games that I've been thinking about besides Dark Souls and what I'm looking to do after Dark Souls. Dude, man, I've been having a ball with this build, man. Been having a frickin' ball. Alright, so we got the entire red team down there. Where are these young purple boys? Oh, they're fighting. They're fighting, okay? What's up, pal? Oh! Back out of this guy's shit. Wait for that to go down. Alright, these guys I think can drop without my ult. There we go. Yeah, didn't even need the ult. Didn't even need the ult. Oh, there's a couple guys over here. Juicy, juicy, juicy. Yep! Don't let your memes be dreams! The comeback, dude! The green team comeback! Oh, we're flanking him. Hold on, we're flanking him. We're flanking him. Alright, this fucking healer's just chilling over here. Oh, hold on. We're about to mix it up, dude. Hold on. Let me just buff up here. Lay down my fields. Get on in here. There's my boy Kush. I'm out of resources. I'm so out of resources. Oh! Let's see. Oh, the purple team flank. Oh my god, let's go. Dude, the tank ability of these teams these past 2 games. It's impressive. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, bad life decisions. Bad life decisions. Oh, Mr. Kush, what are you doing here, buddy? Uh-oh. No! Shit! I got overzealous. Damn. I got overzealous. That was on me. Oh, man. Okay. We only have 30 seconds. I have no ult. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. We tied. It's fine though. Dude, okay. The second place person, 1.3 million damage. And then this big old Knots Gaming, 2.4 a million. Let's go, dude. That is 2 PogChamp games, man. I might have to stick these bad boys on YouTube. I might have to. Ah, dude. Let's go. The Warden's done, my friends. He's done. Hype.